You got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division?
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that.
Mighty Keef.
I'm coming to you in Los Angeles at your house.
Or in the ring?
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him and wear his makeup and his dresses.
You know, Frit, I'll be honest with you, I don't really want to subscribe because I'm kind of scared of what you're capable of doing at a pitiful 67,000 subscribers.
No one can have that much power. It is too much.
God knows what you'll be able to do at 100K. Fair point. I have a tendency to get myself in trouble. That's because I can't keep my mouth shut. Trust me, subscribing is not a good idea. The bigger I grow, the more altercations I'll have with these YouTubers who have an ego even bigger than their subscriber count. If I have this much trouble getting along with other content creators, imagine how much trouble I'm gonna have if my subscriber count was even doubled.
I must know about these powers. I want to see it.
It's a scary thought, because 9 out of 10 times my viewers will choose the other person. But that's okay. They all come crawling back saying, "Frit, you were right, please save us." And I will whisper to all of them, "No." You see, fortunately enough for me, being liked isn't mandatory on YouTube, which is very good news because I hate pretending having to like people. There's a lot of people I dislike, and I wouldn't have it any other way. See, Daddy Frit's slowly starting to learn that you're not supposed to like content creators because content creators mess up a lot. Like, if you're still a fan of all the YouTubers that shilled for Payday 3, you are a part of the problem and the type of person that absolutely deserves to be charged $100 for games very soon. These content creators will sit there with a fake smile, faking their enjoyment, pretending to have a good time, when in reality what they're really smiling about is all the paid content they were given. But that doesn't matter to people. People stay subscribed. People continue to support for years afterwards. You know, we had one fumble, who cares? No, you've had multiple. And you know who you guys are, content creators, especially Jose Enojado, Kelly.
Not like this. Not like this.
See, when it comes to me, it's quite easy to lose my respect. When it comes to the average viewer, you basically have to commit an atrocity before any of them consider unsubscribing. And what's more is those content creators can sit there for years feeding you misinformation and you're perfectly okay with it because, huge fan. Maybe one day they'll give me a shout out. Get out of here.
You guys look at your heroes and you think, oh, he looks just like me. If he can be champion, so can I. You're living in a fantasy.
You'll have to forgive my tone if I'm coming off a little more aggressive than usual. When it comes to the subject of scammers, I take it quite serious, as should everybody else. Nobody should be let off the hook that easily for being bribed by corporations. You're supposed to be a gamer's ally during these rough times, not their worst enemy, misinforming them and misleading them and not giving actual genuine takes. Even if it ends up costing you an arm and a leg, look at me. The industry doesn't want to approach me with review codes and copies, and that's good. I have no financial incentive behind any of it, which is why when I'm called out by a bigger YouTuber and accused of being a scammer, I take it quite serious. Especially when the person calling me out is the fattest hypocrite on the internet. If you haven't noticed, self-awareness is something that's going extinct, which coincides with the surge in content creators. Before you know it, nobody will be able to tell their own fart smell anymore. Especially this ugly ass mofo. And of course, you know who I'm talking about. He's on the title of the video. He's on the thumbnail. I've had a few altercations with him this year, and that is Mighty Keef. Was honestly now looking mighty sus. I'm sorry, I just had to insert a Zoomer joke in there. That's just for the algorithm. For some reason, if you use Zoomer terms, the algorithm absolutely loves it, even if they are the most mid jokes on the planet. But that's the thing about mid. It takes off. And this is evident in Mighty Keef's channel. So you thought Review Tech USA and Angry Joe intros were not funny. Well, you have not experienced the power of mid until you watch the Mighty Keef skit.
I'm Microsoft, baby. I'm old, I'm rich, and I'm white. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Wow, this is garbage. You actually like this?
Oh my, oh Jesus Christ. That is what passes off as comedy these days. People think a chuckle is more than enough to reward someone by drowning them in praise Ha ha ha! Do more! No, don't do more. This is what we call safe comedy on YouTube. The things you can get away with for the most plastic of audiences. The type of comedy I aim for gets me channel violations. Because as we all know, true comedy is censored on this website. This is not comedy. This passes off as something, entertainment, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not entertaining. Well, you know, whatever, it's what the internet likes. This is comedy for TikTok brains. Yeah, I don't find it funny, but you know what? To an extent, I respected it, Keef. I really did. I thought to myself, here's someone who can take the console wars as a lighthearted joke. Here's someone who doesn't get personal over Twitter comments that aren't kissing his ass, which is all he wants. You figure someone who can make a joke out of people would be able to handle being the joke for just a second. But no, Keef completely blew up and showed his true side. No, you're supposed to laugh at the console fanboys, not me. Well, you are a console fanboy, Keef, and it's time to admit it. That's why we're here. And believe it or not, Keef, it was your viewers that begged me to do this video, so blame them. They felt it was necessary, so I'm gonna listen to the people. I shied away from this subject more than them, but they said, nah, Frit, I've been a loyal Keef viewer for years. This is not cool. He can't go around accusing people of being scammers with no evidence to back it up. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It's not okay. How did this quarrel between you two even start, Frit? Well, you see, Keef was doing his usual console warring on Twitter, which he will never admit to. And he always has fun gathering screenshots of Xbox fanboys being stupid or screenshots of them contradicting themselves, while also telling people a week prior that he was gonna stop console warring. Wouldn't it be funny if I did the same to Keef? And I did. All I did is exactly what Keef would do in the situation. And that's what makes it even more hilarious, because upon seeing that he was the butt end of the joke, he couldn't take it. He could not fathom somebody catching him and making him a part of their own joke. I'm Mighty Keef. I'm supposed to be the funny guy, not the one people laugh at. Which is hilarious because it was one of the most harmless of screenshots. It was just the two reactions he had between a Starfield update and The Last of Us Factions 2 being canceled. This is honestly the most lighthearted tap I've ever given someone on a chin. I mean, Keef, if I went full force, you would have been knocked out. I pulled back my punch a bit. I thought, it's funny. Look at these two tweets. And then people in the comment section warned me. They told me at a time, Frit, be careful. Mighty Keef has a huge victim mentality. And they were right, because he took this post to heart.
Please stop trying to drag me back into your console war bullshit. Y'all are weirdos. Plus, everyone keeps telling me you're a scammer and that your girlfriend cheated on you and your brother. Leave the console wars alone, bro. You have other wars to worry about.
Who can say the N-word? What are the rules? I really want to say the N-word.
You could tell by the way he mistyped everyone. He was in a rush. He was seething, absolutely salty about the screenshot. That is what a rushed tweet with minimal research and minimal info looks like. That is the tweet of a desperate man. And honestly, I was expecting him to ratio me harder, but not even his own audience would take his bullshit. They all called him out. Very few people in his comment section were cheering him on. And for good reason, because the hypocrisy is insane. Nobody else profits off the console wars more than Mighty Keef. And he knows it. And so does all of his audience. So the audacity to ask me not to drag him into console wars, like what? You are at the forefront of it. It's no wonder your audience wanted me to wipe that smug look off your face. The complete lack of self-awareness here should be researched and studied by scientists. This is insane. What Mighty Keef really means by this tweet is, please stop making fun of me. Please don't make me the butt end of the joke, no matter how harmless it is. Nothing is more off-putting than a comedian who can't take his own jokes. And as a lot of people pointed out in the comments, he's trying to act slick about it. By the way, I heard. Way to save your ass, one word away from being liable. You're not as dumb as I thought you were. but nonetheless, still scummy. And I think a big part of the reason people lost a lot of respect for Keef that day was because he was completely pulling it from comments. Twitter accounts created, dedicated to hating on me. That is where he got his information. So I take it back, you are stupid, you are dumb. The level of research put here is about as lazy as his skits. Now, as to why Mighty Keef would be obsessed with something that happened to me in a relationship when I was a minor, you fucking creep, concerning yourself with the relationship of minors is definitely not a good look, Keef.
FBI, open up!
It's why it's very important not to just listen to your comment section. It's a bunch of ponies. They desperately want that to be an event that happened to me just yesterday, but my God, it was like 12 years ago. So seeing Keef's comment section talk about the love life of minors is really creepy, but not far-fetched after that PlayStation executive was caught about 2 years ago. You know who I'm talking about. But that don't matter to Keef. He doesn't have time to research or study things. Does he look like the type of person that does that? These guys have to go back 12 years to find something. All I have to do is look back 30 minutes ago and I'll find something stupid from them. But you know what, Keef? You talk your shit and I respect that. I like it when people fire back. Don't just let anybody talk shit to you. Talk shit back. It's fair game. Unfortunately, you went down the road of accusing me of being a scammer based off such little info from a group of gamers that rioted New York City for a PS5 giveaway of all things. You so desperately wanted to talk shit, and that's the problem. That desperation led you down a road of misinformation. I thought to myself, what could Keef possibly be referring to? I've never scammed my audience. As a matter of fact, my own audience scams me. They said, Frit, just keep the good salt going and we'll keep funding you. That was a lie. And I'm left crippled by YouTube's monetization system that has basically limited ads on half of all the hard work I've put in. I'm operating at a loss, really, and overexerting myself. Not that I want to go down this road of, woe is me, I have to work for my money. No, I like working for my money. But when it comes to anybody on this website, I am at the bottom of the list of potential scammers. No gaming company is ever going to approach me to promote their game due to my filthy mouth, and YouTube is never going to take it easy on me. So all you've got is pure, unfiltered, underpaid passion from me. I already work hard enough making this crappy content as it is. I don't have time to physically scam people, legitimately. I don't have time. So what info does Keef have to go on that I've scammed anybody? Well, the answer can be found in his comment section from the same retards he thinks are geniuses, feeding him the correct info, and that's the people that to this day openly mocked my father's passing. As many of you know who are subscribed to this channel or have been subbed long enough, a year ago my father passed away from COVID, which led me to quickly realize how expensive a funeral is. Because without financial support from people, it would have been physically impossible to bury my dad, which were his wishes and the only wishes I could fulfill. So that's why I set up a GoFundMe to help bury him. And viewers came through, and I cannot ever thank you enough for that. It's part of the reason I still feel obligated to make content. I feel I still owe the audience. Everything from the plot of land, to the burial, to the casket, to the embalming, to the suit, to the flowers, to the rental of the chapel service, to the flight tickets to fly my family to go see it. All expenses have receipts and proof. Yet a chunk of PlayStation fanboys want to run with this narrative that I somehow scammed my audience. They believe I just took that money. Are you out of your minds? Are these really the people you're gonna listen to, Keef? You're gonna run with this narrative that I'm a scammer off of burying my goddamn dad, because to this day, ever since his funeral, that is what ponies ran with. Oh, you couldn't afford to bury your dad after all that money you make on YouTube? Oh yeah. Heaven forbid any of you lose a close relative and are left with those expenses all to yourself because you were their only child. I had to learn to grow up that day. I had to learn to step up, take the mantle, and be held responsible for my father's burial when he failed to be responsible for me most of my life. So I take it personal. It was the hardest thing I single-handedly ever had to fucking do. Oh great, look, now you've put me in a bad mood. Thanks. So you know what, I'm gonna throw you under the bus even some more. Y'all wanna trust this console fanboy shill? You know that clip from Greg Miller that's been going around about how he wants to damage control the Insomniac leaks and not talk about it, even though he openly talked about leaks for everybody else? You know what Mighty Keef's entire response to that disgusting woke blob corporate shilling is?
W video.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but for me, the beast doesn't include selling out.
Yeah, there you go. There's your heroes, standing up for journalists who refuse to report the news because it would damage their friends. Yeah, let's just all clap like seals for the lack of journalistic integrity. All because Greg Miller was placed in Spider-Man 2. Wait a minute, hold on. There's something else from Mighty Keef.
I am Mighty Keef.
Ah, would you look at that? Insomniac replying to Mighty Keef with a quote from him. It's all starting to add up now, isn't it? Of course Mighty Keef would bat for this company. Look how nice they were to him. Hell, they're fans of his work, and he's fans of their work. Just like Greg Miller was fans of their work and was put in the game. And he has the nerve to call me a scammer, while he's out here damage controlling, knowing fully well what they plan to do in Spider-Man 3 and how they're gonna split that into 3 segments at full price apiece. Get the fuck out of here. Don't you dare ever try to call me a scammer again. Take your little sensitive ass back to your channel and go play make-believe console war skits. Because obviously it's the only way you could win an argument. You accused me of being a scammer, and you said peace. You didn't want to confront me. Makes sense, because I would have talked circles around you. I would have made you look like a complete moron and you knew it. You were betting on your own audience coming to your aid, but instead they all called you out for your hypocrisy. So that did restore a little bit of faith in me. To see a grown-ass man go that low over a plastic box just never stops being amusing, does it? It's why you guys tune into this channel in the first place, so keep the subscriptions coming and I'll keep the content flowing, so consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you so choose to. And with that being said, I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.
Free Congo sucks ass.